In thinking about this, I said to myself, who should I address? Black men or black women? Now, sometimes I weigh heavily on black men because I believe men are the true leaders, and it's a position that a lot of black men say they want to be in, but it has a lot of responsibility. It takes a lot of responsibility to be in that position. And I do believe men lead. And I feel that way when it comes to all races. But I realize that men are entangled in something that they can't consciously get themselves out of, because their anatomy sometimes becomes their brain. So over the years, I've seen the culture pretty much become or have a real pornography energy to it, where a lot of men complain about the promiscuity of women and how women conduct themselves, but they support a culture that puts that out in the open. So I want to talk to women, okay? Because there's two phenomenons that I've seen happen over the years. One, what I just said, that a lot of the culture is sort of like soft porn. Some of it's hard if you look at some of these uncensored videos or videos that are close to uncensored. But also in a lot of videos, there are multiple women. It wasn't like that back in the days. Back in the days, a male singer or even rapper would rap to one woman. I think Wu-Tang Clan was the first to change that when they made the song Ice Cream. And they're rapping to a lot of different women. You do not want to accept that type of treatment. Okay, because that carries over into how you're treated in everyday life. Because men absorb the type of mentalities that are being put into music and videos. And they can't help but be affected by that. It changes their perception of how they look at women and how they treat women. So I want black women going forward to really put a stop to supporting this type of culture. Now, I might not be reaching the demographic that I want to reach, but I think it's every black woman's responsibility to have this conversation with other black women who just blindly support the culture and let them know how it affects them. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out conversation. It's pretty evident that what's being placed in the culture carries over to how women are treated in everyday life. It's become a symbol of manhood for men to focus on more than one woman at a time and openly admit that. Okay, because when he openly admits that, that's him claiming his manhood. And of course, women being objectified and looked at as just sexual objects, that too is more out in the open, because that is what's in the culture now. So I make it simple for women. Okay, now I know how it's hard spiritually, and it's hard when you're not awake and conscious, particularly for black people, because we're so rhythmic. Like the beats to the music, we can't resist. I can, because I'm stronger than 90% of people in the world. But most people can't. I don't give a shit what the beats sound like. If I don't like the visuals or the words, to a song, I'm not going to support it. I mean, you wouldn't even understand the type of strength that I have. Now, I haven't watched TV in over 2 years. I would have to be at someone's house to watch TV. But let's say I'm showing images of Meek Mill's video, right? Let's say, hypothetically, if I knew he was going to be on a show, I wouldn't watch it. See, I'm 10 times stronger than you. I don't give a crap who's on the show. Even if Lupe Fiasco was to be on the show, I'm not going to watch it. I'm just strong like that. I wish I could create a pill where other people could have my type of strength. But I know that is a struggle for most people. Like, I don't watch award shows. I don't watch award shows because Meek Mill might be on there. He might be in the audience smiling. I don't want to see him smile. I don't want to see any of these rappers or support them even inadvertently. Because when you support award shows, the advertisers make money. And based on the viewership of the show, they begin to realize which celebrities draw these viewers in. The more viewers they draw in, the more the advertisers pay. So you cannot watch award shows in this era period. Okay, because that's when all these artists come together and dark energy gives them awards based on how good of a puppet they've been the previous year. But do not support rappers who use strippers. I mean, I think it's unbelievable. I think of a doormat when I think of black women. You could do anything to black women. You could wipe your feet all over black women. Because when you don't have respect for yourself, you have to teach people how to treat you. People will do what they can get away with. Like, let's say you were in a relationship with a guy and he's doing things to you sexually, which I speak a lot about on my website, because anal sex is like really something that's becoming prevalent in the community, because there's so many reasons for it. I won't go into it now. But that's like allowing a man to do that, and you don't really want him to do that. He'll do it because you're allowing him to. You can't allow people to treat you in any way. And that's why when black women talk about our image, sometimes it's like hearing white noise or blah, 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 blah. No, I don't want to say that. What's the Charlie Brown sound? The cartoon Charlie Brown. I forget the character. But when he would talk, it's like whack, 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 whack. It's like you don't even hear black women, because you're not even in the mode of trying to change your conditions. You have to teach people how to treat you. People will do what they can get away with. And the sad thing about it is when you allow someone to mistreat you, as black women have come to do in this era, they'll secretly resent you. It's sort of like when you go out to a store. I don't know if you've ever been to this. Everybody has, pretty much, I would think. But sometimes when you're out and about in the public and you see parents who allow their kids to scream and yell at them and throw tantrums, and the parents don't do anything, you just become disgusted with the parents. Like, you can't even control your kids. Like, the kids are annoying, but you really get disgusted at the parents. Like, you weak ass reject. You need to do something about that. Well, that's the same thing men go through. Subconsciously, they'll resent you for allowing them to abuse you. They're not going to respect you. So you can allow the rhythm to open you up to the abuse that I see going on, but at the end of the day, men lose respect for you. And I'm putting this on the shoulders of black women right now because, as I said, a lot of black men don't realize what they're doing. I did an article of how men need to keep certain women under the bed. They can't understand that. They don't understand the ramifications of pulling these stripper, porno energy type of women from under the bed and admiring them before all the women in the community. And that really influences a lot of the actions of a lot of women in the community, and particularly young girls coming up. They will have or won't have as much respect for themselves because it doesn't seem like there's any boundaries. So you'll hear men talking about how black women act in this era, but then they'll openly talk about how they like Rihanna. Now, I'm gearing up to do a whole video on Rihanna. I think she's the most disgusting, nasty, worthless black bitch celebrity I've ever seen in the spotlight. And of course, a lot of men like her because they're thinking on a low vibrational level. All they know is she's attractive. Okay, you have to pay for stuff like that. When you don't think and you don't use consciousness, you have to pay for that. I don't care. If I was a man, I don't care how attractive I thought she was or how nice I thought her body was. I would not allow her to rise up, but so high. She would be like a black tail model. So I want black women to think about that. I'm getting sleepy talking about it because you already know all this. It's just you're weak. Okay. And like I said, I'm working on a skit show because it's more impactful when you show people things visually. It'll make them feel stupid to the point where they'll want to change. Just talking about these things, most of the things I say you already know because you could feel it. Energy explains everything. So you know, just like girls in the club who, when the DJ's like, bitches raise your hand, and they raise their hand, you know what you're doing is not to your benefit. But you would rather give into it than fight it because it has a temporary gratification. Because men will seem to like your actions until you want something deeper and more spiritual. And then you'll realize they don't give a crap about you. Guess why? Because you don't care about yourself. So I'll go more into it later. Think about that. We got 2013 coming up. Make a decision that you're not going to support artists that disrespect you. That's why it's hard to respect a lot of black women in this era. It really is. It's like whack, whack, whack when they talk because you have to be in action. You can't just talk. Everything I say, I stand behind and do. You would never be able to say I'm a hypocritical person. So all the things that I speak about that seem unbelievable, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she has that much strength. Yep. Okay, because I already told you, I've already made a connection in my brain that strength is power. Strength makes you like a superhero. So I love having strength and sacrificing in ways that other people, I just can't. That beat is off the chain. I don't give a shit if diamonds started falling out the fucking sky when some of this music come on. You will not treat me negatively. Anyway, something to think about. Signing out.